Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another different sort of little bit of a league. As normally we do a little bit of the Core Racing League in the ECRC, but tonight we are here with the Twisted Chassis Truck Series as they get ready to go to Kansas for 115 laps tonight. So far, about 5 minutes left into practice, and you're seeing a lot of tough times being put up there as, when the Core Racing League took their trucks to Kansas for their final race, you've seen a lot of different lines running the outside, the middle, and the inside. But before we get into all that, my name is Dylan McDonald, filling in for Bryce Kobler for GRN. But tonight we are on CRN as I will bring you the live coverage from Kansas tonight, and it's definitely going to be a fun-filled night with these guys doing 115 laps, making sure that they can get their cars dialed in. Don't want to hit the wall, don't want to burn your tires up as much as you possibly can. And I've done a couple of laps here. I'm looking about 28 to 29 laps, give or take, on a tank of fuel. But that's definitely going to be a good thing to watch and pay attention to. But as we're sitting right now, we're going to go ahead and bring in a special guest up here into the booth. Figured it would be good enough to have him in here and just be cautious. He seems to be one of the guys that are up there towards the front, and I believe it was Nathan. This is Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
All right, Nathan. Well, I am kind of new here. Um, I don't really necessarily know everybody's names, so it's going to give me a little bit of time to get everybody's names intact. But, you're 57 minutes into practice. You got a couple minutes left. Kind of give me a little bit of a rundown how these trucks are going to act tonight, especially with the long green flag run. Did you take the time to practice getting into pit road? Did you run the high side, the middle side, or the low side? And kind of give us a little bit of connection on what the pit cycle is going to be.
Yeah, so I've ran 80 practice laps. I've done two fuel runs, tire wears, about where I expected it to be. I think the first 18 laps, majority of the run, you're going to be on the bottom. If you really want to pass someone, you're going to run that middle line, kind of pinch them down and try to get the run off the corner. But at the end of the run, I found you're running more lap time if you run up by the wall. Just keeping your momentum up. Pit window is probably going to be around 28 laps. So me and my teammate are going to backwards plan and see if we have to split the last stage in half or if we can go without pitting in that last little bit. So should be a fun race. Restarts here are going to be crazy because it might not look that wide, but it races really wide. It races three grooves, so it's going to be fun. Qualifying is going to be huge. Um, the draft is going to be big. So if you're the leader and you get out to 3/10 of a lead, don't be surprised if second and third work together and run you back down and pass you.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I do a little bit of officials myself. So Kansas is one of the good mile and a half tracks that I like. I love running the truck series, and you pretty much hit it dead on with the nail. I mean, you got 18 other guys out here that are trying to get that coveted pole position. Everybody wants to be on pole. It's not where you start, but it's where you finish. But, it's going to have to be a little bit of give and take patience for tonight. It's 115 laps. You're definitely going to see guys who want to get up to the front and not save their equipment. And then probably within 5 to 10 laps, you're going to see yourself or anybody else go past those guys yet again and take that position back. But before we let you get on out of here and get back down to your team chats, everybody want to give a shout out to?
I'll do I'll do my shout outs at the end, hopefully. Um, because I don't know. I have a one liner, so it's pretty funny.
All right. Well,
Uh,
yeah, well, we could just save that for the end of the race if you come back up here to the booth. And Well, I'll just wish you good luck and hope we can see you at the end of this thing.
All right, man. Thank you.
And you were in Loose Lugs, correct?
Loose lug nuts. Yep.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, that was our in-race reporter of the, I believe it is the number 14 of Nathan Somerville. Again, I was called upon to do a little bit of a fill in for Bryce Kobler as he was not able to make it here tonight. So you're going to be seeing myself and broadcasting this on CRN. But looking right now, we have a couple people out here on track. We're going to go ahead and take a ride along. We're going to use the little bit of a gyro cam here and just see how much banking these cars or this track has is, it doesn't feel like a lot, but when you're actually inside the truck and actually going around this track, you could definitely tell and definitely feel how much you're really moving inside of the truck. Granted, this is a racing simulator, you're not really actually inside of the truck, but with all that banking and progressive banking, as they would call it, you're definitely going to feel your back end come out a little bit, or even the front end kind of push as the run goes on. So definitely got to keep in mind about how your tires are and see what actually works out for you. As we're going to take a ride along here with Nate Cogdell as he sets his first lap. And you see how much of an arc he's putting it in, right? Getting all the way down to that white line, taking it back up, not being close to the wall because a wall can suck you in and kind of slow you down just a little bit. So right now it looks like Nate is sitting P number one with a 31.307, and his second lap will be maybe a little bit faster here as he goes top of the board, so a 31.012, but Nathan Somerville ends up hitting a 30.905. We're going to go ahead and get the full names up here for you guys and get the best times out of all of these guys. As there's another guy out there on track, we're going to keep on switching over here. We're going to look at Dustin Stallings here. He's going to come around and take his second lap, and that number 88 machine, Mackenzie, running that inside. That's where you want to be for qualifying. It's like I always say, qualifying is going to be a little bit different than what the race pace will be. So definitely want to keep an eye on that. As you see there, he's running that inside, going to take it up by the wall, but not get too close to it. He's going to use all the apron that he possibly can, and he's going to jump up to P number 4 with a 31.046. Still, so far, Nathan Somerville is your pole sitter as of tonight with a 30.995. Nate Cogdell with a 31.012. Chris Wheeler with a 31.017. And there's another quick time. Joey Mines, 30.989. So move Nathan Somerville down to P number 2, as most of these guys are done with their qualifying runs, and can't wait to see how these guys run. It's definitely a blast, especially at Kansas Speedway, and it's just like Nathan said, or in his interview, it doesn't look wide, but this track really is wide. And for a couple laps, you really got to watch the wheel spin or the truck not having the tires warmed up enough, and potentially end up ruining your night or somebody else's night, as Joshua Moore put down a 30.973. So he's going to be top of the leaderboards here, as we have 1 little minute left into qualifying, and then we're going to see these guys grid up, and we will be right underway. Make sure if you guys have not yet, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. CRN guys are always live pretty much every day of the week. We have a lot of stuff to bring you tonight. Carl and Jimmy are going to be live in the GT4 cars and the GT3s as they tackle the Spa Endurance, as I was not able to make it due to coming over here and filling in for Bryce. And then Tuesday night we have the ARCA cars on Tuesday night double header, along with UCRL Truck League with Carl and Jimmy doing that one. So while we get ready here, we're going to go ahead and run down our qualifying results for everybody. So looking at it right now, Joshua Moore, P number 1, Joey Mines in second, Nathan Somerville in third, Nate Cogdell in fourth, Tristan Stevenson in fifth, Chris Wheeler in sixth, William Tomlinson in seventh, Dustin Stallings in eighth, Kevin Winker in ninth, Terry Collette in 10th, Skylar Berry in 11th, Chris Zofield in 12th, Billy Stallings in 13th, Jordan Stenzel in 14th, David Hall in 15th, Mike Sabanovsky in 16th, Roger Diebold in 17th, and rounding out your 18-car field will be the number 2 of Dylan Smith. As those two are not able to put down a time, not sure if that was due to being a little bit precarious on how this race may go, or maybe they just want to be down in the back. But so far, it looks like they have a little bit of a warm up going on here. Not sure what's. Believe they're doing that for their drivers meeting, but as it sits right now, it's. You heard Nathan say it earlier. It's going to be a big. It is a bigger track. It's wider. And definitely you got to watch that wall going into turn number 1. Let's see if I can get a good camera angle of turn number 1 wall here. And I'll actually show you guys what I mean by the wall kind of turns out and gets you. As cannot do the camera angle just yet as there's nobody out there on track. But while they get their drivers meeting done and over with, we'll go ahead and run down through the week of CRN and how that will unfold. So tonight, Jimmy and Carl, along with Mark Trisket Thomas, are going to be in the booth as they're going to give you a little bit of a podcast feel as they tackle Spa tonight for an hour and 45-minute endurance race. And then after that, you'll have you'll have Tuesday night with myself and Ricky in the ARCA Menard series as Core Racing League's ARCA series takes their third and fourth race at two short tracks of USA and Southern National. And then right after that, you have the UCRL as Jimmy and Carl will be in the booth for that one. And Wednesday night, you have the final race in the ECRC Racing League. I'm trying to go for a second or third place, or maybe even possibly a championship if I can get the race win. But the guy that's in the lead has to finish really bad, and I highly doubt he will. He's been consistent all year, and that would be the number 7 of Sean Langton. And then about an hour later after that, we'll end up going to the Indy cars as they tackle Monza, and you'll catch myself and Mark Thomas in the booth. Thursday night, we have the Core Racing League 87s Vintage Cup. We get ready to tackle, I believe it is Richmond, as there are 2 races left, and Chris Hamilton has put on a dominating performance this season. And then after that, it is a Friday and Saturday off. And then we are back with the V8 Supercars at Watkins Glen Classic as I'm in the booth for the Core Premier Series as they tackle that. It is a 45-minute endurance race. And then we start the week all back over again on Monday. So that's definitely going to be something to pay attention to and look at. Just make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Nothing is worth any money. It's all free. And definitely give us a big follow and a shout out. Go ahead and like the video if you guys want to see more of it. We do racing almost every single day as me, myself, Jimmy and Carl Handwork along with Ricky Gonzalez put a lot of effort into bringing you guys some good quality broadcasts. But warm up is done, and we're going to go ahead and run down our field once these guys get ready to load back in for the starting lineup. And it's definitely going to be fun, though. This is going to be interesting. We're going to see who has pace and who just wants to try to finish the race as we're getting ready to load in here. Going to wait for our guys to load in, and there it is as we have the number 51 of, it looks like, Joshua Moore. Going to get these paint schemes covered here for you guys really quick. In P number 2, we have the 24 of Joey Mines in that Valvoline Flow Racing machine. In third, we have Nathan Somerville in the Bush NA Win number 14. Love that scheme, by the way. Next, we have Nate Cogdell in the 00 car. In the Sonic the Hedgehog Racing. Next, we have Tristan Stevenson in the number 18 Z line. Next, we have the number 38 of Chris Wheeler in that Home Depot throwback to Tony Stewart. Next up is William Tomlinson in that number 129 Grover Gaming. The number 42 of Kevin Winker. The number 24 or 12 of Chris Zofield. The number 68 of Skylar Berry in the UNCW Seahawks. The number 69 of Billy Stallings in that Alive paint scheme. The number 83 of Jordan Stencil, Heartbeat Hot Sauce. The number 21 of Checkered Flag Books of David Hall. And the number 2 of Dylan Smith in that Stoger machine. So as it looks like right now, the number 51 will end up leading us off to green here. I believe the pace truck lights are off of the pace truck, and they are. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the track map for you guys so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing. And we'll go ahead and flip it on back over to Barney as he's got the green flag in his hand. And Joshua Moore is going to lead him to the green, and they are green, green, green. Barney's waving that green flag, and they're still too wide. Nobody really trying to force the issue going into turn number 1. You see, everybody's trying to get away. Oh, the 14 and the 00 get a little bit tangled. The 14 is going to go around. That might throw out the first yellow, and that it does. Going to go ahead and take a quick little look at what happened here. Going into turn number 1, going to go ahead and slow it down. It looks like the 14 just got a little bit loose. Goes up, ends up hitting the 00, maybe a little bit of net code. Gets just a little bit loose. Good avoidance by the number 38 and the 68 to get around the number 14 as he stopped. The 88 presses the issue, gets around. And the number 2, nowhere to go, and he's got liftoff as he does a little bit of a barrel roll going down the track. So definitely not what you want to see on lap number 1. A lot of good trucks are injured in this race. Hopefully everybody has a fast repair and able to use it. But that's just something that you don't really want to use that early in the race, as cold tires were the effect of the first caution. So far, Joshua Moore able to hold the lead while these guys are doing single file as of right now. I believe they might have lane choice or maybe even the choose rule. But as it sits right now, it looks like the 50. I don't know. If I was the 51, I think I would have to choose the inside on the restart just because of how how much pull you get off of the inside. So, that's something that I would do, and in my opinion. I mean, granted, stuff could change. Maybe the outside might have the run to go in and through there. Other times, they don't. It's just a give or take game. It's just you got to know how to get through those gears quickly as you possibly can, and just got to keep your truck clean. I mean, granted, these guys just had their first caution. That could be a um a different wake up call. Hey, cold tires. Let's take it a little bit more easier. As the track temp isn't that bad actually. It just stuff happens. Nobody's ever perfect. NASCAR gets 400 laps. These guys get 115. So you hate to see it, but that's just the kind of stuff that does happen, especially in real life racing. But looks like the pace car is going to go around one more or two more times, I should say, as the 14 is going to go back into pit lane here. Probably fix some more of that damage if they don't have any fast repairs, but it looks like the two of Dylan Smith is out there on track with these guys. And that was a scary sight. Oh, that wreck. The two just had nowhere to go. The 14 locked it down as best as he possibly could, kept it up by the wall, which is actually a pretty good move on his part. Everybody's trying to jockey for position. He was able to hit the wall, lock the brakes down, and not roll anywhere. And the two just had nowhere to go. But I mean, it that is a part of racing, especially with a little bit of a blind spot that these trucks do have. Anything can happen as we're getting ready to come through turn 3 and 4. And right now, your rundown is Joshua Moore in P number 1, Tristan Stevenson in second, Joey Mines in third, William Tomlinson in fourth, Nate Cogdell in fifth, Kevin Winker in sixth, Chris Wheeler in seventh, Skylar Berry in eighth, Dustin Stallings in ninth, Terry Collette in 10th, Chris Zofield in 11th, Billy Stallings in 12th, Jordan Stansel in 13th, David Hall in 14th, Mike Sabanovsky in 15th, Nathan Somerville in 16th, and Dylan Smith rounding out your 17 car field. Roger Diebold was not able to make a lap here as yeah, it looks like the leader does not have lane choice, and he elected, or he had to go to the inside. So the 51 is going to pretty much get a fresh restart, fresh turn into this as we're going to take a look at these cars going past us. Just under pace laps. Nothing too crazy. As you can see how the track kind of dips down just a little bit, and there goes that little bit of banking as we're looking there. Gonna hit you up with a digger cam here, going around turns 3 and 4. Turn 3 and 4 exit. And the pace truck is going to get off of the pit lane, or get off of the track, go down to pit lane. Barney's got the green flag back in his hand, ready to wave it to go back racing. They hit the Geico restart zone. Joshua Moore out to a good jump there by the number 51 machine, as he's possibly going to be clear of the 18 going into turn number 1, and he is, but the 18's not going to give up a big fight here as we're looking. And yeah, the 18 is going to be up by himself on that high side. That 24 is going to be all over the back bumper of the 51. Almost gets into the number 18 going into turn number 3 and 4. But here in the back, it looked like Chris Wheeler and all those guys in company were 2 to 3 wide going through turn 3 and 4. The 68 and the 42 side by side. The 68 not able to come back up because the 42 was hogging that inside line, but finally lets the man come on up. And now here's where we're going to see a little bit more of the racing as we're looking here, as we are going to, we're still 2 by 2 racing for this top spot. And look at that number 00. He's trying to make it work on the outside of Nate Cogdell. He's got a whole line behind him. The leader's running the inside. He's going to do a little bit of a crossover move. Get my Dale Jr. reference intact. Here we go for a slide job. He's going to make it happen, though. Not going to be able to slide up due to the 18 being there. Or he might try to fit his truck in. Thought better of it. Wasn't sure. But move the number 00 back up to P number 3 as they reach the lap number 9. And the 00 is going to get underneath the number 18 going into 1. Hits the apron just a little bit. Going to bounce up the track. That's going to allow the number 24 to get a good pull on him. We'll go ahead and look back at these other battles going on back here in the pack as we look at that number 129 machine and the 88. The 88 is trying to get away from that the number 38, catch the number 129, and not able to do so just yet, but he's got a gang of cars in front of him. Just wants to keep that number 88 machine clean. But up front, it looks like we have a good battle for the lead now. Almost 3 wide, the 00 almost thought about doing it, but now the number 42 is stuck in the middle. 3 wide going down the backstretch into turn number 1. Kevin Winker going to keep it in the middle. The 51 gets stuck on the outside, almost 4 wide now, as the number 18 stuck his nose in there, backed out just a little bit, and now they're 3 by 3. And the number 24 of Mines was able to get credited for leading that lap. The number 129 into the wall, going to keep it up there, but they're still 3 wide going out of turn number 2. The 24 gets into the 18. The 18 collects with the number 40 or the 42 of Kevin Winker, and that's going to bring out our second caution. I'm going to go ahead and go back to another CRN replay here. Rewind that just a little bit more for you guys. And go on to the chase cam of this number 24 machine of Mines and see exactly what happened. Maybe he got a little bit loose, or maybe even possibly netcode got between these guys. But look at that number 18 get a good run coming up out of the corner. The 24 just moved up ever so slightly, and that was all she wrote for the number 24 as he goes hard into the wall. The 18 lifting up all 4 tires, and the 24 almost went around and up and over, but able to keep the rubber side down, shiny side up. And that was a lot of cars damaged in that big next wreck. But these guys are saying, let's go for it. They were holding it pretty strong up there. Just ended up having a little bit of issues. No harm, no foul. As these guys are going to bring it down to pit road. We're going to see who's got a fast repair and who doesn't. As we are 13 laps in out of this 115 lap race. Looking here is Kevin Winker is not going to elect to fix any of the damage. Is going to go in and get that. But look at the number 24. He is badly damaged as Joey Mines gets into pit road. Uses a fast repair as that truck was crab walking into pit lane. And that's going to kind of benefit him to an extent. But now he's got to be cautious, as I believe these guys only get one fast repair, like I said. And definitely going to have to change the way that you race for the majority of this race, as you know, it's only lap 13. Still have 100 laps to go. And so far, we've seen great side-by-side racing. And we've also seen a couple of wrecks. So definitely want to keep an eye on that and see what these guys can do. Looking so far, and it looks like the 00 of Nate Cogdell is going to get the race lead from these guys. He was the big winner out of all of that, as he is now able to take the lead, and now he's going to be able to call when he wants to go, as these guys or get ready to go back green, you see a lot of more guys going down pit road just to get maybe a fresh set of tires or even just top off on fuel, as these guys can only go about 28 laps on a tank of gas. And that could be a difference maker for these guys, as a lot of stuff could happen no matter what it is. Another wreck could possibly happen or something along those lines. But so far, it's been fairly clean. Good three wide racing, two cautions. It does happen, especially odd eye racing with the net code and all that stuff. It's not just like real life. We have this thing called net code, and sometimes it helps you, sometimes it doesn't. And in that case, on both of those wrecks, it just didn't help either driver, as the only person to go up and over was the number two of Dylan Smith. But so far, the pace truck lights are off this time by, and they're going to double it up again. And Nate Cogdell will be our race leader. We're going to go ahead and, for this restart, going to jump into the cockpit camera of the number. Let's do Chris in that number 12 machine. We're going to jump on the onboard of this number 12 machine, see how quickly he gets up in and through these gears, and see how he's attacking this track going forward. You've seen these guys get a little bit loose on entry, as they're just carrying a lot of speed and momentum turning down towards the inside of the track, and the rear end just wants to come around and just kiss you in the face, as one would say. But Pace Truck's going to go back into pit lane. We're going to ride along with the number 12 machine of Chris Zofield. But it looks like Nate Cogdell will have the control of when he wants to go, hits the Geico restart zone, and the number 00 is off and away up to third gear for the number 12. And look at that, the 88's going to tuck in line behind that number 00 machine, and look how simple and con- uh, conservative that number 12 is being, considering all that has happened on these opening laps. And they have already opened up almost a 2 second gap over these guys, as Zofield is starting to lose a position there. He went from third to fourth, as he is now back up to speed. That was a quick run around of how that will happen. We'll go ahead and go back out to a different camera here for you guys. As we're looking here, right behind the number 20, the 12 machine, they're almost three wide again. The 9, the 18, and it looks like I believe it was the 69 of a Bill. Oh, he's got a lot of damage on the back end of that number 69 machine, but here comes the number 24. They are three wide, one on the apron, one in the middle of the track, one on the high side. 38, 24, and 9 all doing battle there, as Chris Wheeler was the biggest mover out of that big group of pack right there, as got a little bit loose was that number 83 machine, almost hitting the wall coming out of turn number 2, able to keep it off of it. But look at that little bit of side draft from the number 69 on the no. There's a wreck. The number 9 and 68 get together, and the 69 gets spun right in front of the number 38. He's going to slide up. Chris Wheeler able to back it down, not get enough of damage on that number 38. We're going to go ahead and rewind that for you guys here and go on board with the number 9, as we were watching that all happen in front. So we'll go ahead and replay this for you guys. And you see here the 9 and the number 38. The 38 looked like he had a little bit of damage, but the 9 and 68 just getting together, and it just good avoidance by everybody to miss the number 38. Oh, 38 almost got tagged by the 9. Able to not manage to not get tagged. Actually, he did look at that rear spoiler of that number 38. but you hate to see it. So these guys under caution yet again on lap number 20. And that is a little bit more of a damaged vehicle in the process as these guys just trying to get a feel for each other, get a feel for the track. Again, there are 17 guys out here. They're trying to do what they possibly can. Don't want to run into each other, and ended up happening as of right now, as these guys are, they're still trying to get their wings out of, what they're doing. And that this has been a really good race to call, and hopefully we get to see a lot of green flag racing like I know these guys can do. All right, guys, we are back as I had to take a little bit of a breather there and get some liquid on my throat as my throat is a little bit sore due to the weather changing. But looking at these guys on pit road, they're not going to take a fast repair, just going to get those trucks repaired as much as they possibly can. Nate Cogdell still your race leader. Dustin Stalling in P number 2. And right behind him is Nathan Somerville. So good to see these guys go back out there as they're going to try to see exactly what these guys can do. Maybe the 88 is able to get around um, these guys for the race lead, but it just seems like that inside line is the way to be as of right now for a restart, for that matter. But as it sits right now, anything can happen as we're looking here. Go ahead and take a look as go ahead and watch the gap of these drivers as they're getting ready to come back to green. Still 2 laps to green. Once that pace truck lights get taken off, they will double it back up and get back to racing. But looking at it right now, and there goes the pace truck lights. They are going to be the they will end up going back green this time by, so the 00's got to be on the inside, and then you got the number 88 on the outside. Can Dustin Stallings time that restart perfectly? Can he find a way around that number 00, or is he just going to try to get into his head and just play the game how it wants to be played? Anything can happen, especially at Kansas. As if you guys have ever seen Wizard of Oz, we're not in Kansas anymore. But tonight on the Twisted Chassis Truck Series, that's where these guys are playing host to 115 laps. Just want to say thank you for our 12 viewers out there watching on the CRN broadcasting channel. My name is Dylan McDonald. If you have not been here before on the CRN broadcasting network, we do races every day pretty much, but Friday and Saturday. But you can catch us all out there on track tonight as I am actually in the booth for the Twisted Chassis Truck Series. Bryce Kobler not able to make it here tonight, so I stepped in his place. Going to go ahead and go up to Barney the Flagman as he's got the uh, green flag in his hand. Wasn't able to get up to him. And look at that good jump by the number 00 He's going to get around to the number 88, but look at that number 14 all over the back bumper, pushing him into turn number 1, and they are too wide, but that number 18 of Tristan Stevenson all over the back bumper, that number 83, and they are just everywhere back here on the track. Everybody's trying to get back up to where they were when they started this thing. And one of the guys that is making his move is the number 18 and the 42 as well. So look for that number 18 to possibly be up there before this thing is all said and done. As it looks like the 14 backed up off of the throttle just a little bit, picked up the number 88. He's going to tow along the number 88 with the 14 to get around that double zero as we're coming to lap number 25 out of 115. And so far, this race has been eventful as the 18, you see there, he's running the inside. Joey Mines right behind him in the number 24. He's kind of keeping it above the apron there. You see there, he's running about mid to low. And the guy right behind him in that number 22, Mike Sabanovsky, he's running that Harvick line, as they would call it. You know, you get right there on the white line and just paint it. You pretty much just take your whole hand with a paint bucket and just paint that white line as quickly as you possibly can. And you see there, Mike Sabanovsky not really wanting to go all the way down on the apron. The 129 and 22 almost get together. The 129 thought he was going to go down a little bit further, and that was not the case for him. As the 42 of Henry or Kevin Winker, he's going to try to get around the number 51 machine of Joshua Moore. Not able to make the pass as of yet, but he is part of Team America. Looks like he's got Joe Biden on the side of that truck, or it was George Washington, as it was. Sorry about that. As Henry, or sorry, I keep thinking of Henry Winkler. You know, I don't know if you guys ever, I don't know. It's just weird, but Kevin Winker out there racing like he's got something to prove as he is part of Team America as well. And he's going to do it on the outside of the number 51, but they are too wide behind him. Going to go ahead and jump back here to this number 68 machine of Skylar Berry. They got a little bit of a 3-car breakaway here. They're just running to run some laps up here with Chris Zofield. And right in front of them, the number 24, Joey Mines, is 3 wide on the outside. These guys are not scared to make it 3 wide when they need to. The 129 slides up, almost got into the side of the number 24. He saw it, recognized. Oh, the 129 took out the number 83. Not sure exactly what happened there. We're going to go ahead and go back to a quick little bit of a replay here. The 129 and the 83. So the 83 comes up off the wall. 20. Oh, okay. They were almost 3 wide there. He was able to save it, didn't spin it. So good job of racing for that guy as he was able to keep the truck off the wall. But definitely something that you don't really want to see as we have a battle for a pass here. The 88 is looking to get passed by the number 24 of Joey Mines. Not able to make the pass as of yet. Going to run that inside line. Maybe be clear of him coming off of turn number 2. Going to slide up right in front of that number 88. And now move the 24 up to P number 6. As he's going to dive it right back down to the inside. But this guy, Joey Mines, is coming with a vengeance as now he's going to start working on Kevin Winker here. And still out front is Nate Cogdale with Nathan Somerville in second, Tristan Stevenson. And then number 18, where did he come from? Up 2 positions where he has started. And he is working on the number 14 now as he's got 2 America trucks behind him, the 42 and the number 51. And right behind those 2 is the number 24 of Joey Mines. Coming to lap number 34, you see there, it looked like Nate got a little bit of the grass. That's something that you don't really want to do, especially in these trucks, as you know, you get a little bit of grass on those on those slicks, and that could spell disastrous for you. as we are coming to lap number 34 here. Nate Cogdale still leading this thing with Nathan Somerville in P number 2, Tristan Stevenson in 3rd, Joshua Moore in 4th, Kevin Winker in 5th, Joey Mines in 6th, William Tomlinson in 7th, Mike Sabanovsky in 8th, Chris Zoffield in 9th, David Hall rounding out your top 10. So this top 10 has changed quite a bit here, as the 18 is going to make a move on the number 14. Not able to be clear coming off of turn number 4, though. The 18 is going to run him up a little bit high here. What does the 14 do? Does he back out, give him the spot, or does he keep fighting him for it? The 18 is going to dive it into turn number 1, able to get his nose clear, not just yet. And that 14 is holding on with that high side. He's going to have a better run off the corner, as when you go down to the inside, you got to really play with the throttle a little bit. Down up on the high side, you can stay at the throttle a little bit longer, and now he makes that pass. So move the 18 up to P number 2. Here comes the number 51, though. He's going to shoot to the inside, might get a 2 for 1. Not going to be able to happen, though, as the 51 and the 14 are now side by side, door to door. And they're still going to have a little bit of a drag race coming down the field. Mike Sabanovsky almost 3 wide with the number 24, or the 12 and the 21. Good battle with those guys back here, but still up here with Joey Mines, or it was Joshua. Yes, Joshua now is getting under pressure from the number 129, as he's going to pass him for P number 3. And he's making that high side work for that line, as these guys are getting ready to go to lap number 38 out of 115. It looked like the 129 got into the wall just a little bit. And with these guys having that long green flag run, those tires could be wearing a little bit, as we have the number 88 and now the number 2 into pit lane. The double zero of Nate goes into pit road, and that's going to inherit the lead over to Tristan Stevenson and then number 18, Z-Line Toyota. Rowdy Energy as well. And now we have a good battle with the number 129 of William Tomlinson. And the 14, a little bit of a slide job there. The 51 getting in the back of the 14. Gets a crossover done on the number 129. Able to keep it off of each other, as the 129 is going to stay up on the high side. But right behind the number 129, or the 51, I should say, is that 24 of Joey Mines. And he is trying to get back up there. Battle for the lead as the 129 gets back into the wall. The 24 has nowhere to go. And that is going to do it for that run that Joey Mines ended up having. And now he's got to build all that momentum back up for the number 51 of Joshua Moore. As it sits right now, their next biggest one on the track would just be these guys. But there's David Haller, looks like, right behind the number 12 of the 12 of Chris Zoffield. These guys are doing a little bit of a good battle here, as the 18 starting to check out from the field. Already got a 1-second gap on second place. And up in front of this 2-car battle, these guys are almost 2 wide here, as Mike Sabanovsky was looking to the outside of the number 121 machine. Not able to make it happen, though, as the 129 is going to keep his spot from the number 22, but it's only a matter of time before that number 22 makes his move. Don't know where or when, but I think I've ran with Mike Sabanovsky. I've ran with Chris Wheeler. I've ran with Kevin Winker. I've ran with a couple of these guys in this league, and I know what these guys can do. I know how good they are at saving tire. So definitely going to be a good strategy to have as the 83 ends up going into pit lane, Jordan Stansell. The 51 is in pit lane this time by, so he's going to move from second down the running order. And that's going to be all the pit road stops going into turn number 1 and 2. Going to go ahead and go to a backstretch camera before the later passes, goes into turn number 3. And look at that 2 wide battle there. A digger on the third corner. Going to get you a little bit of entry to what we will see as these guys come out of turn number 1 and 2. And look at that exit going in. And then turn 1 entry. You see how big of the gap that is. 2 seconds on the second place driver. So the 18 doing what he really wants to do. And now we have another battle. The 129 is side by side with the number 21. And the 21 is going to end up taking that position from the 129. So move the 21 of David Hall up to P number 5. Again, thank you guys for out there watching, and definitely appreciate you guys following and supporting the CRN, the GRN, and the Twisted Chassis Truck Series, as these guys have been doing a great job. We finally got some green flag runs in here, as the 129 is going to dip it into pit lane here. Same with the number 20 or the 12 and the 21. So those three are going into pit lane. The 9 is going to follow suit, and the leader of the Tristan Stevenson is still your race leader. He's going to let this 83 truck pass, as that is not for a position, as Jordan Stansell is going to get that 1 lap back the hard way, the Bill Elliott way, I should say, showing my little bit of knowledge there, as Henry, or, oh, I did it again. Gosh, Kevin Winker, he's going to go into pit lane this time by, and that was the only person to go in. But the 24 has a little bit of a battle now, as Joey Mines was able to get around Mike Sobanovsky of that number 22 machine, and these guys still have yet to pit. And looking at the front end of that truck of the number 24, it looks like he's got a little bit of front end damage. Not sure if he actually does or not, as the 24's got a little bit of yeah, it does. He's got a little bit of damage on that front end of that number 24 Haviland machine. So now he's really got to watch those engine temps, especially the oil gauge or the water temp, because that truck could blow, as this is going to be a close one. Maybe he didn't use his fast repair. Oh, yeah, he did. I do remember he used his fast repair, so maybe he can get down pit road whenever he takes a little bit of a pit stop, able to get that truck repaired as much as he possibly can, and goes from there. But so far, the 18 has stretched out to a 3.7-second gap, and now the 24 is starting to pull away from the number 22. And then right behind them is the 00 of Nate Cogdell, as he will be the last car on the lead lap. And then fifth on down are all 1 lap down. So once these guys go into pit road and come back out, everybody should be back on the lead lap, as it looks like the 24 just going to let the 88 go by. Dustin Stallings, as he has a little bit fresher tires than the number 24. And Mike Sobanovsky, Chris Wheeler, and the 69 of Billy are all in pit road this time by. And there goes the number 24. The 24 is going to get slowed down. Doesn't lock him up, so that's a good sign by him. But now he's into pit road. But now when does the 18 machine go into pit road? The Kyle Busch Rowdy Energy Z-Line Toyota Tundra still out there leading this thing 51 laps in out of 115. as now the 18 is going to make his way into pit road. He's got a little bit of right side damage on that number 18 machine, and that's going to give the lead back over to the 00, depending on if he can get to him in time. We'll keep an eye on that track map, and we'll keep an eye on that number 18 as he's going into pit lane. Not in his pit stall yet, but the 00's coming out of 3 and 4 right now. The 18 just got into his pit stall here, had to lock him up. And yes, that will give the race lead to the 00 as he was able to get by him. So move the 00 back into the lead as he's got the 83 right in front of him. But Dustin Stallings in P number 2, 5.5 seconds back behind the number 00. And back here with the number 12, it looks like he's got a big of battle with William as William goes to the inside, too wide going into turn number 1. The 12's just going to let him have it. It does say the 12 on my screen, but everybody, he is the number 12 as that Grover Gaming number 129 was able to get past the number 12. But look at that, the number 24 of Joey Mines is right back on that back bumper of the number 12. He's going to maybe possibly push it 3 wide, not able to. And there he goes. Got a little bit tapped by the number 129. Joey's going to go to the inside. The 12 in the middle. He's going to chop block him going into turn number 1 and 2. Joey's got to do what he can to get past this guy, get his spots back. Go to side draft going into turn number 3. 24 on 12, but on the broadcast or on the track right now it's 24 against 24. He's going to slide up in front of him. So move the 24 Joey Mines in front of the 12. Now he can start picking off the number 8 of Skylar Berry. And looking at the number 18 right now, he's got Joshua Moore on his back bumper. And the 88 get in the wall just a little bit. Going to keep it up there. Good driving by him and not to come back down into that number 51 machine of Joshua Moore. Team America as Chris Wheeler is back to the party. He's going to take it up high. And now, with that being said, he's going to take over that position. As actually, no, he is not. Chris Wheeler is 3 laps down. Not sure exactly what happened to the number 38. Maybe that early race caution gave him a little bit of an engine damage there. But looking back here by the number 68, it looks like there's another good battle with the 68. The 24 is trying to get around to the number 68 of Skylar Berry. And the 24 is closing in ever so slightly. You see it there. The 24 fresh tires do matter. He's going to run the inside. The 68 is going to run the inside. Do we see a slide job coming from this number 24 machine as he's going to catch him down the backstretch, go to the inside, dive it in just a little bit deeper, able to clear the number 68. The 68 is not even going to try to fight him. He's going to get a 2 for 1 as Dylan Smith up near the wall. 68 had to do an evasive maneuver to get around that number 2 machine and move Joey Mines a 2 for 1 going through 3 and 4. But up here with the number 83, looking at Jordan Stencil, he was able to get around or not able to get around, but the 38, it looks like, of Chris Wheeler, as Chris Wheeler starting to pull away. And right behind that number 83 is, looks like to be the 21, maybe? Nope, it's not the 21. It's the 51. So the 51 is going to pass him on the inside. And the 51 is going to slide up just a tad little bit, run the 83 wide. And no crossover or slide job here just yet. But looking back here, it looks like Nate Cogdell is getting passed by the number 38 machine. And Nate is slowly letting the number 51 catch him. Not sure what's going on with that number 00 machine, but that gap has went from about 3 to 4 seconds down to 1.7. So a big difference coming through this field as these guys are 60 laps out of 115, and this green flag run that could play dividends to see who really took the time out of that hour practice to notice what that long run could do and what it couldn't do. And you see it there. The gap is now down to 1.3 seconds. So we might have a new race leader in about 2 laps if the number 51 can get to the 00 and get around him. But moving on back here to the number 68, looking at the track map, we had a good battle. Mike Sabanovsky on the inside. He's going to take advantage of those fresh tires, get around the number 68, and that's going to open up the door for the number 129 as the 68 is going to bump draft pretty much the number 22. Now he's going to take it low. Mike Sabanovsky going to pinch him down, move back up, but the 68 is going to slide back up. Mike Sabanovsky's got to do a little bit of driving there. Almost was able to get that pass done, and here comes number 129. He's got to really run it up high, and the 129 is back into the wall there as the 68 let him go up just a little bit going into turn number 3 and 4. As maybe the 68's tires are just, he overdrove the corners just a little bit too much, and now his tires are just kind of shot. It seems like he can't get that truck really pinned down to the inside anymore. So now he's got to try to find anywhere he can to get grip and get the truck turned without trying to put himself into the wall. And look at that. The number 9 Ace Shock Machine is on the inside of that number 129 and move Terry Collette up to P number 10. If he can get this pass made, they're side by side. Terry Collette's got the inside run. He's going to slide up in front of the number 129 and move him up there. But back up front, we have a battle for the lead now as Joshua Moore has caught the race leader. Now, what does Joshua Moore do? Does he just sit and be patient, or does he hurry up and try to get to the front? As it looks like it's a Toyota on Chevy. And me being a Chevy guy, I'm going to root for Chevy the whole time. But look at that dive, slide job all the way back up in front of the 00. He's going to go into pit lane. So he's on a different pit strategy than everybody else. Kevin Winker, he's P number 2 as of now. And then you got Nathan Somerville in third. So Joshua Moore, P number 1, Kevin Winker in second, Nathan Somerville in fourth, Tristan Stevenson in Nathan Somerville in third, Tristan Stevenson in fourth, Joey Mines in fifth, Mike Sabanovsky in sixth, Skylar Berry in seventh, Terry Collette in eighth, William Tomlinson in ninth, Chris Zofield in 10th, Nate Cogdale in 11th, Dustin Stallings in 12th, Jordan Stencil in it was 13th. Billy Stallings in 14th. David Hall in 15th. Dylan Smith in 16th. And rounding out your 17 car field will be the number 38 of Chris Wheeler. So far, looks like the number 18 has a battle with the number 24 of Joey Mines, as Joey has caught that number 18 machine. And just before pit stops happened, that 18 had a 3-second gap on the number 24. But you see there, the 24 is just all over the back bumper of the number 18. And now he's going to try to get a good run going down the back. He's going to get it going into turn number 3 and 4. He's going to dive into the inside. Do we see a slide job? Not able to get clear of the number 18 as we are on lap 69 out of 115. The 24 able to get clear. Going to take it all the way down to the inside apron and move the 24 up to P number 3 and move Tristan down to 4th. And that was one hell of a move by the number 24 to get around the number 18. But now Kevin Winker is your race leader with Nathan Somerville right behind him. About 3-second gap between the first and second place cars. Excuse me. As these two right here are doing good battle, being nice and clean. As the 68's about to get passed by the number 88. and these guys have finally stretched out their legs. And whatever pit strategy they're on, that's what they gotta pretty much stick to. As you know, the 18 was one of the first cars to pit, and now he's gonna go a couple more laps. But the 24 is on the same pit cycle as the 18, so definitely something to note there as the 14 drops down to P or drops into pit lane. And now you got to wonder, when does the 42 pit here? As these guys are battling, well, not really battling, but they're, following right behind each other. What is that meaning for Kevin Winker? He's getting passed by the number 2 machine as it sits right now. He's going to be on the I side. Dylan Smith does have fresh tires, so he's just going to let him go by. And then the 69 is having a good battle with the number 21. He's going to get around him. Chevy on forward, slide job all the way up to the high side, into the wall goes the number 21. Not able to make that slide job work. But now we have another battle here with the number 24 machine, as the 24 is closing in on the back bumper of that number 00 of Nate Cogdell. And there goes the leader. The leader of the number 42 is in pit lane this time by, so give the lead back over to that number 24 machine. And we are a little bit over halfway now, as make sure you guys subscribe. These races are so good, and these guys have found their wings, stretched out their feet just a little bit, and now they are on one of their longest green flag runs. But so far, the 24 and 18 still doing battle. But look how much of a gap that 24 has picked up now. Over a second gap for our race leader over that number 18 machine, as the 129 is going to go down pit lane this time by. The 68 is in, the 42 is out. And then you got the 51, or actually Mike Sobanovsky right behind the number 51, and it looks like, not sure who that is. Maybe Dustin Stallings? Yes, Dustin Stallings in the number 88 machine. He is right behind the 51, and then you got the third place driver of Mike Sobanovsky, and then right behind them is that number 00 of Nate Cogdell, who was able to get his lap back the hard way. And there it is, a pass for P number 2, as, or not a pass, I'm sorry, I forgot. The 51 is a lap down, and the 51 is trying to get his laps back here, as the 24 is your race leader. The 88's going to force the issue on the number 18, get around him, and that's just putting more of a gap on that number 24 machine. So far, a 1.4 second gap between these guys. Excuse me. And still doing good out here. And you know, like I said, a long green flag run. Can't thank Dustin Stallings and Bryce Kobler enough for allowing me to fill in for him and allowing me to broadcast this race for you guys. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, give a thumbs up if you guys like this type of stuff that we're doing over here on the CRN and Ghost Racing Network. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. Gotta give a big shout out to Bryce Kobler out there, as he was not able to make it here tonight. But that gap, over 2 seconds now for our race leader of the number 24, Joey Mines. And I think he's pretty much set his sails. You can go about 30 laps of fuel. So not really into the uh, fuel map as of right now, but one more pit stop and they will be good to go. Got to ask you guys out there in the chat, if this were, or if you were out here racing and you knew that you had one more pit stop to make it, would you go in as soon as you knew that you had enough fuel to make the rest of the laps, or would you go in after you burned out all of the fuel, because that's what it's going to take. Is it going to take uh, a shorter pit where you have to take more fuel, or where you have to still save just a little bit, or do you run the fuel tank dry and try to get a little bit less fuel as the 24 goes down into pit lane? That's going to inherit the lead of the 18. The 18 did not pit this time, so the 24 in pit lane, and there's about 35 laps to go. So all he's got to do is stay out there another 5 laps, and he will be good. Or excuse me, 25 laps. So one more pit, and they are good to go. Now, if a caution comes out, that could be a little bit scary, as anything can happen on the racetrack, as the 18 is going to stay out another lap. But falling back here with the number 68, Skylar Berry, he's got the number 21 right in front of him, and then it's the number 12 machine of the Chris Zofield, as the 24 is out of pit lane. He's going to get his truck back up to speed, and we're going to see when this 18 does decide to pit, and it looks like he's going to pit this time by. We're going to see how many tires he takes. Does he take 2 or does he take 4? Because that could be make or break your race right there. Locks up the rear tires, as you've seen, and we're going to follow this guy all the way down pit road, see exactly how many tires he takes. This is the money stop. I mean, you don't really want to mess it up. I know I've done it before, and it really sucks. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that's not the greatest feeling. Almost slides through. Oh, he overshot. He overshot his pit stall. Had a backup, so that's championship implications for the number 18. Up goes the rights. Up goes the lefts. And no damage repaired done, and that's going to inherit the lead to the number 00, as the 24 was able to get back around the number 18, and big championship implications for him, as yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see. And yeah, hmm, I, man, that's how I feel. Every time I know I'm in a good spot and I saved enough fuel to, possibly make it to the end, I always want to make sure that I do what I can, as we're looking here. And our race leader will be the number 00. But look at the gap is 2.9, and he's got Chris Wheeler right behind him in that number 38. The 38 is going to get around the number 51 here. And then right behind him, you get the 83, and then the 42, and then the 88 right behind the number 42 machine. As it looks like nobody into pit lane this time by. And now Nathan Somerville back here in P number 5. Joey Mines pit just a couple laps before the number 18, and the 18 is stuck behind a couple of trucks here. He's back down to 11th, last car on the lead lap, able to get around. It looks like oh, he goes into the grass. Not sure what happened there. Going to go ahead and go back to a quick replay. See what happened to the 18 coming out of 3 and 4. Oh, the 12 and 22 got together, and he had to dive bomb it like that down there. We're going to go ahead and rewind that just a little bit. Going to watch it from Mike Sabanovsky's view. Sorry about that, everybody, but just want to watch and see how this all played out. So you see there oops, sorry, sped it up just a little bit. Okay, so you see here the 12 gets into the wall, and the 22 just had nowhere to go. Both going to nose it into the wall. The 18 took a evasive maneuver to not hit him and actually put his truck off the road. So good moving by him to not uh, get involved. But That could have spelled disaster for that number 18. And he was sitting there saying, "Please be a caution, please be a caution, please be a caution." Because with that last pit stop that he had, he kind of ruined it by sliding through his pit stall. But as it sits right now, that gap down to 1.4 from 2.9 down to 1.4 in just a few laps. That number 51 is on a mission. He knows that he's got enough fuel to make it to the end. He knows he's got to do something because that 24 is slowly but surely trying to pull up on him. And then he's got his teammate of Kevin Winker behind him. So definitely want to see these guys finish under green. Don't want to do a green white checkered, but these guys are on their longest green flag run of the night. Haven't had a caution since lap 25, as these guys have went green for a pretty long time as of right now. And the 24 has gotten around the number 69. Now he is, it looks like, 11 seconds back. Can the number 24 make up an 11-second deficit? He's slowly closing that in. 11.2, 11.25, 11.23, 11.22, 21. Yeah, he's slowly closing these guys in. And with the pace that he's keeping, he could possibly be challenging for P number 2 or P number 3, but he's just got to have the lapped cars go his way in his favor. As the 51 is in pit lane this time by, not sure what's going on, so maybe he wasn't able to make it, and that's going to be give that up to Joey Mines. Wow. Oh, a little bit of a turn of events. I thought he was going to be able to make it. The 51, the 22, the 88, and the 2, or no, not the 2. Yeah, the 22, actually. I'm sorry. All in a pit lane. The 00, our race leader in pit lane. Kevin Winker is our race leader as of now. And then it goes the 14 to Nathan Somerville. And then in third will be Joey Mines. So going from 11th to third in just a couple of laps. Now it's give or take who's got enough fuel to make it to the end. Does Kevin Winker have enough fuel? Does the 14 have enough fuel? And does the 24 have enough fuel? We're going to find out. There are 91 laps out of 115, 92, excuse me. And this race could get very interesting to say the least. As you look there, the 24 is going to run it on the inside. The 18, Tristan, is slowly but surely trying to catch this field. He's got right behind the number 68, and the 42 is in pit lane. So, no, the 42 cannot make it on fuel. Now it's up to Nathan Somerville. He's going to lead that lap. So, the Busch Light NA dot win or Bushna win truck is out there in P number 1. He's looking to not run by the wall there. He may bring it into pit lane this time by, and there is a caution on the racetrack. Oh, how the tables have turned. We're going to go ahead and go back to a replay here, see what exactly happened. Slow it down. Actually, let's go ahead and rewind this again. I think Dustin thought he was going to be up a little bit higher than he was. Oh, that was netcode. Oh, no. Netcode is going to use its powers. And, oh, man. That changes everything. These guys, oh, no. I don't know. Oh, netcode. Holy netcode. For you guys out there in chat that don't know what netcode is, it's when a car doesn't get too close to the next car and they end up making contact and it ends up um, sending the other car up into the air and spinning is what you're seeing there. Uh, you hate to see it. Netcode is a very real thing in iRacing. It's just something that you don't really want to have happen to you. It sucks it happened to Dustin Stallings there and the number two of Dylan Smith. It just these trucks have bad net code in these machines, and there you see it there. You know that net code proving to be a point as that's going to bring out our caution, and that kind of changes everything. You know, not a lot of people elected to pit. Not sure if they would have, but that yeah, that we're going to have a really crazy 20 laps as yeah, this is going to get interesting. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a lot of aggressiveness, but you're definitely going to see a lot of people that did pit go straight from the back to the front, as the leaders did not pit this time by. As it looks like Nathan Somerville is actually the race leader. Right? Yeah. Believe our live timing is screwed up here just a little bit, so let me go ahead and reload them really quick. See if this will fix it. It's still showing Nathan Somerville in P number one. Go ahead and go up to Kevin Winker here. As maybe he. Not sure maybe if it's an iRacing timing thing due to the caution coming out while the leader was in pit road or what it was, but I believe Kevin Winker should be the race leader when we go green. As yeah, there they go. Okay, so yes, they all were a lap down, and they're all going to get the wave around. They're going to go back behind the number 14. So that's what it was. Kevin Winker and all them in company that were behind the pace truck ended up having to take the lap around, as they're going to come back around, catch back up to the pace truck, and this is going to be interesting. They won't be able to pit, so you're definitely going to see who does what. And man, this is going to be a great finale for tonight. There might be even three or maybe even possibly four wide down the front stretch, or maybe even into the corner. Who knows? As these guys are getting ready to do battle for these last 20 laps. Well, 15 actually, yeah, about 15 when they go back to green, and they're still trying to get the lineup sorted out, as this it was a little weird, not gonna lie. It wasn't sure exactly what was happening, but it looks like the 14 excuse me, taking the outside. So leader does have choice. The 14 is going to take the outside. That's going to move the 68 to the inside. And this is going to be interesting. What can the 68 do to get around the number 14? We've seen how quick the 14 was, but just behind him, you got the number 24. The 24 has been fast all night. Same with the 42, the 51, the 00, the 9, the 88, and the 18. So it's really anybody's game up here. But the pace car is going to go down pit lane this time by, and we're going to see a good run for the finish as we're going to go up here to Barney the Flagman. He's got the green flag in his hand. Pace car is going to come off of turn number 3 and 4. Nathan on the loud pedal right about now. You see, he got a little bit of a wheel spin there, but look at all those lap cars on the inside. Going to go ahead and turn it back on over to TV1 for you guys so you guys can see how turn one's going to be. And the 18 already on the outside of the number 68. He's going to pinch him down just a little bit. The 18 is getting a good run on that number 68 on the outside. Doesn't have to lift enough to where the 68 does. And move the 18 back up to P number 2. Now he's not able to get clear though. You're going to be battling, almost touching, coming out of turn 3 and 4. And the 68 still not able to get clear of the number 20 or 18. But Joey Mines almost got hit by the, or excuse me, the 21 almost got hit by the number 42. Not sure what happened there, but Joey Mines taking his time. Tristan Stevenson up on the high side, still not able to get around the number 68. Door to door, wheel to wheel, I should say, as that's close racing. He gets around him, but look at that. The 42, where did he come from? The 42 right behind Skylar Berry as Kevin Winker is going to get around Skylar Berry on the outside, going to do what those new fresh tires can do. And still out front is the number 14 of Nathan Somerville. But Kevin Winker is on a mission as he's going to keep running that outside, going down to the inside, get that draft off that number 18. And he's going to bring the 18, keep him at bay. That 18 running the inside in the 42, not able to get around him. But as it sits right now, the 42 is going to dive it to the outside, going to get a good arc into the corner. Coming out of turn number 2 is going to get a good run going down the backstretch. Where does he go? High or low? 18 is going to block the high side. He's going to take it low. Could we see a good battle coming off of turn number 3 and 4? The 42 is going to slide up just a little bit. Almost door to door. Could fit a piece of paper in between these two. And the 18 now has to defend on the high side. And now what does the 42 do? He knows that he can get around the 18. Gets into the apron just a little bit. Gets a little bit loose. Doesn't really affect him, though. Going to pull up in front of the 18. Move the 42 into P number 2. Lap 103 out of 115. Kevin Winker up to second. Now he's got to get past that number 14 machine of Nathan Somerville. But Joey Mines, P number 4, keeping his pace, dropping it underneath the second now. Trying to catch up to the number 18 machine. Not able to do so just yet. But if he can get a good draft, he can possibly get up to that podium position as the 42 is going to run the outside. The 18 one lane down right on the back bumper of the number 42 of Kevin Winker. Kevin going to be able to defend the 88 down on the inside on the apron. And now it is a 3-car breakaway as these three have broken up over a second. And there is a yellow flag out here. The 00 ended up spinning. We're going to go ahead and get on board with the number 00 and rewind that for everybody. As we're going to see exactly what happened to the number 00 as we take a look here. And slow it down just a little bit. Going into turn number 1 and 2, the 88 just couldn't get his truck slowed down. Tagged the 00. Almost hits the 68 or the 69. The 00 going to do a full 360. Get tagged by the number 69 in heavy nose front end damage to that 00. The 21 able to miss him. And I think everybody else was able to miss the number 00 machine. He locks him down. And that is something that you don't really want to see as these guys are getting ready to go back to green. Got to do a little bit of a reload here as it won't go back to the live scene. So I figured it out. I wasn't in the as it I was still in slow mo, so that's why I wouldn't go back to the live scene. So hey, it happens. It's not that big of a deal. Ended up figuring it out. The 14 coming down to pit lane. Got to get that track map up here for you guys so you guys can see exactly what I see out here on track. Again, big thank you to the owner of Dustin, or is it Dustin? Where's his name? Dustin Stallings, for allowing me to come in here and broadcast this race for these guys. It's definitely been a treat to be out here doing what I can for you. But as it sits right now, the 18 going to inherit the lead, but that fast number 24 starting to his inside or outside, depending on where the number 18 decides to go. But the 14 and the 42 have both pit to take tires. So that's going to change everything. Do they have enough laps to get back up through the field? Wanting to see if these guys can get back up through the field. That's going to be a tough task. I mean, they know that they're fast, but trying to get up through the field with lapped traffic is a different task at hand. And it could prove good and it can prove bad. Just got to make sure that you're patient getting through the field. I know when I race, uh, it, it's different. If you're not a racer, you don't, I guess, understand. But with myself being a racer on iRacing and doing a little bit in real life as well. It's one thing to have a fast car, but it's another thing to have a fast car and be in the back of the pack and work your way around the slower traffic. You really have to be patient, count your moves, and kind of keep in your head like, okay, if I do this move, how would they do that? You see what I'm saying? Definitely want to. Patient is going to be the biggest key. Like, that's got to be there. But pace truck lights are out, and the 18 elected to take the outside. The 14 and 50 and 42 only have two trucks to pass until they're back into podium positions. Well, two to get back to the race leaders, and then it's going to be a dogfight out here, and we're going to see this action happen pretty quickly. As we get ready to go back green here, Barney is going to have the yellow flag in his hand for the last time. I think these guys can do it. I think they can get back to green and keep it green. So we're going to go ahead and go up to a Barney cam for you guys. Find the starter cam. There it is. Barney's got the green flag in his hand. The 18's going to bring him to the green. And they are underway. They hit the Geico restart zone. The 18 is going to get a good jump on that number 24. Going down into turn number 1 and 2. The 18 is clear, but look at that number 24. He's going to run the inside. He's got the 68 with him. But with him having that big gap, it's time to go back to 14. The 14 is going to make it 3 wide. The 68 51 to get together. The 42 able to miss it. No, there's the caution. The caution ends up coming out. And we're going to go ahead and rewind this as there it goes. Now we're going to rewind this here. And we're just going to, this is all just pretty hard racing from these guys, as coming out of this corner, Nathan Somerville is going to get so much of a good run. He's going to move it to the inside and take the air off the back of that number 68. The 51 gets a little bit loose as well. Netcode, not your friend again, plays dividends to that. Kevin Winker able to get around that. And the 68 just nowhere to go, ends up collecting the number 51 again. So again, this is going to be, you know, green, white, checkered. And anything can happen now. Kevin Winker and the number 14 are right behind the 18 and 24. So we're going to see a big 3-wide scenario happen. Can Nathan Somerville make it happen on the outside? Or does he have to make the passes on the inside? These two, Kevin Winker and Nathan Somerville, have been fast all night. Same with the 24 and the 18. Don't count out, though, that number. Oh, where's he at? Oh, Joshua Moore ended up having to tow. He was in pit lane, so I didn't know. Just get ready to say, don't count out the number 51, but he is in pit lane. So as we sit right now, Tristan Stevenson in P number 1, Joey Mines, either or. In P number 2, Nathan Somerville in third, Kevin Winker in fourth, Terry Collette in fifth, Chris Wheeler in sixth, Skylar Berry in seventh, Nate Cogdell in eighth, Chris Zofield in ninth, and rounding out your top 10 will be David Hall. In 11th, Billy Stallings. 12th, Mike Sabanovsky. 13th, Joshua Moore. 14th, Dustin Stallings. 15th, Dylan Smith. 16th, Jordan Stencil. 17th, William Tomlinson. And 18th, Roger Diebold. Pace Truck still has his lights on, as I believe they're going to get the 1 to green, and they're going to have a green-white checkered here. And definitely a good race to have. I mean, if you guys haven't been watching the whole race, this is where you want to watch now, because everything's gonna get interesting. As you know, these guys are only gonna have 2 laps to get around the number 18 and the 24, but who can make it happen? Can the 18 hold off the hard charge from the 24, the 14, and the 42? Can the 24 get around the 18 and hold off the hard charge from the 14 and the 42? Can the 14 and the 42 get around the 18 and the 24 and finish 1-2? All that, and we'll end up seeing if they can do it in about 2 more laps. As we're looking here, got to say big thank you to the 17 viewers out there watching this race right now with me in the CRN broadcasting team here. Got a lot of support out there. Appreciate the commentary tonight, boss man. Go Team America, 51 and 42. So he's out there going for the number 42. Same with some other people. So big shout outs to those guys out there in chat, cheering on their favorite drivers as they are coming to 1 to green. This should be a green-white checkered here, as we're getting ready to go back green, and Nathan Somerville is on waiting to go. We're gonna go ahead and go back up to the starter cam. He's got the green flag in his hand. So a one lap shootout to call the end of this race is going to get crazy. What do these guys do? Going to stay on the number 14 as we are back green. The 24 didn't get a good jump going into turn number 1, but the 80 or the 18 did. The 42 stuck on the outside, the 14 on the inside. The 42 is going to come down and pinch the 14 just a little bit. Not able to get past him, but here comes the 14 to Nathan Somerville. He's going to get a good run going down the backstretch. What does he do? He goes to the inside. The 24 is going to block it. The 24 going to get, almost got into the back of the number 24. The 42 is going to take advantage. The 18's holding everybody off. 1 lap to go. And this is a 4-car battle as Chris Wheeler's made his way up there. Where did he come from? 3 laps down. Oh, the 14 gets tagged. He is able to save. No, he wasn't able to save it. So now jumping back up here, no cautions. What does Kevin Winker do? Does he go in the middle? Does he go on the outside? These two battling nice and hard. The 18 able to keep it honest, gets into him just a little bit. But the 18 is going to be able to hold on for the race win. Kevin Winker, P number 2, and Joey Maines in 3rd. Chris Wheeler finishing P number 4. And that was one hell of a finish there for the race win. The 18 able to get it done as, wow. There was a lot of racing going on those last 2 laps. 18 able to hold off the 42 and the 24. I didn't think he'd have it in him, but he was able to do it. But while we get that done, we're going to let him do his little bit of a victory donuts here. Bring up the finishing order, and we will get our top 3 into the broadcast booth as get them pulled up to the waiting room. So the 18 doing his donuts here as we go to the TV. Oh, it's Kevin Winker doing donuts down there. All right. I see you, Kevin Winker, down there doing some donuts, giving us a big old show. But now we're gonna go ahead and run down these race. Oh, sorry about that. Give me 1 second. All right. Our race results are Kevin Winker. Kevin Winker, P number 1. Hold on, wait a minute. All right, so my race results are showing Kevin Winker, P number 1, Joey Mines in 2nd, Chris Wheeler, P number 3, Terry Collette in 4th, Skylar Berry in 5th, Nathan Somerville in 6th, Chris Zofield in 7th, Tristan Stevenson, he was 1 lap down. Oh, no. Nate Cogdell in 9th, David Hall in 10th, Billy Stallings in 11th, Mike Sobanovsky in 12th, Joshua Moore in 13th, Dustin Stallings in 14th, Dylan Smith in 15th, Jordan Stencil in 16th, William Tomlinson in 17th. So we'll go ahead and drop those down. We'll go ahead and bring up our 3rd place finisher here as we get ready to go. And that will be Christopher Wheeler. Actually, we'll be right back. Just give me 1 quick second. Gonna check something really quick, and we'll be right back with you. All right, guys, I am back as I had to fix something on my end there, so sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and bring up the race results one last time so you guys can see who we're talking to. But our third place finisher, we're going to go ahead and bring in Chris Wheeler, the man, the myth, the legend himself, as I have to look for it here. Give me one quick second. Sorry about that. Uh, Give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. Let me empty this out. All right, Chris Wheeler. This is Dylan in the booth. Got a copy.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Dylan?
All right, Chris. We're teammates in MSRL on Friday nights. We've raced together for a little bit over in the Ghost Racing League. I finally get to watch you race, and me be in the booth tonight for my first time in this league. And you did one hell of a job, man. You brought that P or that number 38 machine in home P number 3. You had a couple of incidents there in the beginning of the race and then in the middle, but able to come back from 3 laps down to on the lead lap and finish in P3, you got to be pretty much excited for it.
Yeah, definitely. I thought, my race was over there. I tried to fix the damage because, we were having a lot of wrecks there at the beginning. I dodged two of them, got caught up in one, and I wanted to save the fast repair and just get as much repair as I could. And my truck was just slow, so then I shot myself in the foot when I come to pit. And got me a minute and 10-second hold. That one hurt really bad.
Yeah, that's definitely not how you want your race to go. Obviously you want to save that fast repair, have it in your back pocket for when you really need it. And that's something that you do a lot. I mean, I've raced with you in the MSRL. You're my teammate. I recruited you for my team. And then Ghost, you were always there when it always counted. You're kind of like a ghost. You're in the back. You don't really talk a lot about you, but in the closing laps, you just shot out of like a cannon, pretty much. I mean, it looked like you had um, fresher tires than everybody else out there. Granted, that coming to the final lap, you and Nathan Somerville got into it just a little bit of three wide action. Nobody's fault, but just a really hard racing. Can't dock yourself for that. But kind of walk us through, how your tires were faring throughout the race, and next week. I'm not sure where you guys go next week, but is that something that you're looking forward to, or is it just kind of get into the truck, get a little bit of practice in, and just go away with that?
Well, yeah, my tires, especially on that last restart when I got the lucky dog, I come in, I had still had one set left, so I was able to manage my tires pretty good throughout the race and still run pretty hard to gain a lap back, so I'd only be two down. Um, but I got lucky, had a set still, got the lucky dog, cautions fell my way, and then it was pretty much in my hands there. Just I feel like if me and Somerville wouldn't have got together, I might have had a shot to go up there and fight for the win, but I'll take P3. But next week it looks like we're doing Bristol, and I love Bristol. I'm looking forward to that, especially in the trucks. I always have a good time at Bristol. So hopefully we just keep it clean. That'll be the name of the game there for sure. Hopefully keep that fast repair in the back pocket for just in case something happens at the end, because I like to always try and be there at the end.
Oh yeah, in Bristol, we just did Bristol in the next gens. Trucks are a little bit different, but yeah, you pretty much summed it up. Pretty much how you gotta have it. You gotta keep that fast repair for whatever could possibly happen. You guys had 17 trucks out there tonight. Granted, Kansas is a bigger track. Bristol's is a half mile. They call it the Thunder Valley for a reason. It's the world's fastest half mile, and Bristol can go one of two ways: a really clean race, or a race where a lot of guys are just not used to the track and car combo and have some problems. So definitely want to see you be up there in the top three, or even getting another, or getting a win for this season. And before we let you get on out of here, does anybody want to give a shout out to?
I just give a shout out to you for Shrimp broadcast. It's great. Go back and watch it. I really enjoyed that. And shout out to Dustin and David, everybody that puts on this league. They've done a great job with it, and I really enjoyed myself.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll go ahead and let you get on out here, celebrate with your teammates and all your friends, and we will see you next week.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, that was our third place finisher. Going to move our second place finisher up here as I just moved myself and not himself. So let me go ahead and move Chris Wheeler up here to the broadcast waiting room. There we go. And now we will take our second place finisher of the number 24, Joey Mines. This is Dylan in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey Dylan, how's it going?
I'm feeling pretty good being up here. I mean, you had a pretty dominant, fast truck out there tonight. You had a good qualifying spot. You had a little bit of a front end damage on that number 24 machine, but still running very competitive, being flawless with every move that you could make. What was the breaking point with those cautions?
Um, in the at the end there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, with the accident I had earlier in the race, I had to take I for some reason I don't put right sides on. I thought I unchecked it with the crew chief thing, but apparently it put right sides on, so I came back down and threw the left side on. So then I was one set short at the end of the race. So when we were going green flag pit stops, I was like, okay, this might actually work in my favor due to me being a set short. And Tristan and I were on the same strategy there towards the end, and then uh, I short pitted on lap 90, and then that when that caution came out, I knew it was going to be good for me because cautions breathe caution. So then I was just hoping that it might have been to go green for the rest of the way, and I might have had a saved enough tire in that little run that we would have had, uh, but that just didn't happen. And then yeah, crazy at the end there with the black flag of Tristan for changing lanes, and then it was just Kevin Winker and I racing for first, and came up a little short.
Yeah, I mean, either way, if you came up a little bit short or anything like that, you still had one hell of a race. You did what you needed to do to keep the truck clean after your minimal incident there in the beginning. But now you've tried to focus your attention onto Bristol next week. Bryce will end up being back in the booth as I was just filling in for him tonight. So you got Bristol next week. Is that a track that you're looking most forward to, or are you just looking more forward to the mile and a halfs and plate tracks?
I feel like if I say I really like Bristol, I have a feeling that I won't do well. So, but I typically, I for some reason, you just have to survive the crashes, and once you survive the crashes, you have a chance to win. So that's what the game plan is to do next week, and hopefully we come out, and I hopefully make it on to the next round.
Yeah, that's all that really does matter is Bristol can make or break your heart. It's
Mm.
it's just one of those tracks, you get in the corner a little bit too hard, you're going to get into the wall, that's going to put a little bit more damage onto your vehicle. But before we let you get on out of here, does anybody want to give a shout out to?
give a shout out to my beautiful wife for letting me play or race for the Monday night. Hopefully to take home another championship. And I would thank Somerville and Cogdell. They let me be a part with them for the since my teammate had to leave due to having twins. So shout out to Nate Dahl. Hopefully everything's going well, and yeah.
All right, Joey. Well, it's been a pleasure watching you guys race here tonight, and we'll let you go ahead and go out there, celebrate with your family, your friends, and everybody out there watching. And a good, strong second place finish tonight.
Thanks, Dylan.
All right, going to move him back on up there. And now we're going to move on to our race winner, Kevin Winker, getting it done here at Kansas Speedway. Kevin, this is Dylan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Kevin. I'm pretty sure you know me already. I ran with you in the HSR series for the Sri Stocks, and it was good to see your name out there, leading some laps, being consistent, and that pretty much paid off for the race win here tonight. You know, your teammate in the number 51 of Joshua Moore had the championship implications there towards the end of the race, ended up having to tow and not being able to come back out on track. But what was going through your mind on that last caution?
Well, I knew the caution before. I had tires in the pits, so did Somerville. So we came down, we got tires, and I kind of knew that was kind of the strategy there with fresh tires. And then we took that restart in the 18 for whatever reason, just dropped down on the inside line for the start finish, and that's a penalty. So I knew he was pretty strong. So once he did that, I kind of knew he was out of the mix. And then I had to deal with the 24 and the 14, and 14 and somebody else got into it. So then it was kind of me and the 24 there at the last lap.
Yeah, Chris Wheeler ended up tagging the 14 coming to the final lap. They were a little bit three wide, and I don't think both of those drivers knew that they were three wide, just trying to battle for position to get everything that they possibly could. And just Nathan had it saved, just got tagged from the front end and just put to the outside wall. But still a good race win. You know, you and the 24 were doing heavy battle there towards the end. And you know, it took 118 laps to get the thing in, but you ended up coming away with the race win. And now you go over to Bristol next week. And is that a track that you're looking forward to, or is that just something that you're just wanting to hurry up and get done and move on to the next race after that?
Well, now that I got the win and I'm advanced to the second round, I'm actually looking forward to it. I was kind of back and forth. It's kind of fun to run, but it's pretty hard to pass and get around. And obviously, Bristol, anything can happen really quick there. But now with the win in my pocket, advanced to the second round, I can go out and just try to go for a win and see what we can do there. I really don't have anything to worry about as far as points and everything.
Yeah, that's definitely a good um, mindset to have. You know, you pretty much just summed up Bristol. You know, it's one of those tracks where you come around a quarter and the track could be blocked and you don't have any idea until you get right up on it. So that's going to be something that you got to be careful of and keep an eye out for. But before we let you get on out of here, does anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first want to give a shout out to Muleburger Custom Homes for sponsoring Josh and I. He sponsors us in a bunch of leagues, so big shout out to him. Shout out to Josh. I feel bad for him because that's the second race this season in this league that's happened to him, where he's pretty much probably had the race won and then got caught with a caution there. So I feel bad for him, but shout out to him. He makes our paints, so big shout out to him. Shout out to the admins that put this league on. Do a great job. Everybody in the league. It's a pretty clean race tonight. Fun battle all night. And then shout out for you broadcasting this tonight.
All right, well, I would like to say thank you as well, and we'll let you get on out of here, go celebrate with your teammates. And Bryce will be back in the booth next week to call the action at Bristol, and hopefully you have a good rest of your night, Kevin.
Sounds good. Thank you. You as well.
All right, guys, that's going to be the race here for tonight. We're going to go ahead and go down the finishing order one last time. As the 18, you heard it there, got the black flag. So Kevin Winker is your race winner. Joey Mines in P number 2. Chris Wheeler rounding out your P number 3. Terry Collette in 4th. Skylar Berry in 5th. Nathan Somerville in 6th. Chris Zofield in 7th. Tristan Stevenson in 8th. Nate Cogdell in 9th, David Hall in 10th, Billy Stallings in 11th, Mike Sabanovsky in 12th, Joshua Moore in 13th, Dustin Stallings in 14th, Dylan Smith in 15th, Jordan Stencil in 16th, and rounding out your 17 car field will be William Tomlinson. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night as excuse me, Jimmy and Carl bring you the UCRL Truck Series action, and then myself and Ricky Gonzalez will be in the booth as the Core Racing League's ARCA Menard Series battles two short tracks, a doubleheader, one being at USA and one being at Southern National. And then Wednesday night, you have Carl Handwerk and Jimmy Covert in the booth while I do battle out there on the track as the ECRC hits their final race of the season at Hickory Motor Speedway in the 87s. And then right after that, about an hour, give or take, I'll be up in the booth calling the action with Mark Thomas in the IndyCar Series as they battle at Monza. And then Thursday night, you have Carl and Jimmy back in the booth as I am back down on the track at Richmond for the Core Vintage Series at Richmond as I'm trying to gain as many points as I can with only 2 races left. And then Sunday night, we have myself back up in the booth. Jimmy and Carl will be down on the track racing the V8 supercars at Watkins Glen Classic No Bus Stop. But that's going to pretty much do it here for the Twisted Chassis Truck Series. Again, can't thank Dustin Stallings enough for allowing me to hop up in the booth. And make sure you guys take care and brush your hair.